Okay, here we go. You will note there are lots of pieces of rope attached to the axle, purely because I didn't trust one piece to be strong enough, although I'm sure it would, as it's a braided piece of rope. However, I just wanted to make sure. So, belt and braces time. Now, as you can see, my engine hoist has got a strange kink in it. That's because I had to drill another hole in order to try and reach the bench or reach the axle on the bench. I have a large step in front of my bench, which is rather annoying at times, to say the least. I'm trying to be very careful, and I wanted to say that most of the time I am ready to jump backwards as fast as I can. Here I'm just removing the axle stands now, and it is totally supported by the engine hoist. I've got to drag the engine hoist backwards in a minute and get it off of the step. I have the front two legs on the step. And once I do that, then I can be sure that I'm getting a little safer. Okay, here I go now, trying to pull it back. Now, don't forget, this is so heavy, I could not lift it. Now, I could have got my friend to come over and help me here. However, it had got so heavy that I knew that he and I would struggle, whereas with the engine hoist, I don't tend to struggle. It makes life a lot easier. You just have to be very careful in what you're doing. Now I want to get it down lower because I've got to pull the engine hoist backwards with that on it, just making sure it's not hitting the bench. All looking okay at the moment. I just took a lot of time, a lot of thinking, stand back, watch it. What should I do now? Shall I do this? Shall I do that? No, yes. Anyway, I tried to be as careful as I could. Now I'm getting the axle stands ready because I want to rest the axle on the stand so that I can move the arm of the engine hoist back in to where it should be. I don't like it being like that, but it was the only way I could achieve what I wanted to. At this point, I hadn't quite realized if I lowered it there, I was probably going to damage the brake pipes or something. So I keep looking at it and thinking, where can I support this? Where can I support it? And it took me a moment to realize what an ass I was being and how I should decide to support it. You will see in a moment when I think, light bulb, that's what I should do. I keep looking here and thinking, that's going to damage something. I don't want to damage anything. Hey, I spent a lot of time and a lot of money on this axle. I don't want it damaged. Of course, you can always fast forward if you're not enjoying this. Take your hand off that button. How dare you think about it? I saw you. Yeah, I didn't have the camera a bit lower, huh? Because any minute now it's going to disappear out of view. Still trying to lower it very slowly. I've got the pressure slightly released, and hopefully it will just move on down without dropping. I'm having thoughts again. You can hear the noise. Well, if I had the audio on, you'd be able to hear the noise. Lots of whirring and clicking noises. Unfortunately, it's going to go out of shot, which is a shame, but oh well, never mind. I can't record it twice. I've done it once and that's it. I don't get a second shot. Not like these actors. What I did decide to do, which unfortunately you're not going to be able to see, is I supported it on the hub splines themselves. the bit where the wheel goes. That way it was supported nice and easily, and safely, I might add. Any moment now you'll see the ropes go a little slack. There they go. That is the weight now fully on the stub axles. And let's face it, when the car's on the road, that's where the weight's going to be anyway. I'm afraid I do need to do a little work on my engine hoist. It's had a hard life. It's had to do more things than it really should have had to do. And it lives outside. And although we don't get a lot of rain in Arizona, we do get some. And consequently, it has suffered a little, shall we say. I also need to rebuild the hydraulic part itself. I'm now just trying to get the bolt into somewhere safe in one of the official holes. That one at the front was only ever going to be used for this particular job. And I just drilled a hole and figured I'll keep a close eye on it, which I did. I don't think I'd want to lift anything heavier than this axle on it. Now that I've got it in one of the proper holes, I'm happier to lift it up off of the axle stand, and I'm now going to pull it back and get it off of the step. As I said, there's a step in front of my bench, and I need to pull the stand back, and I have got some blocks of wood there, which again, unfortunately, you can't see, but they're there so that when the wheels come off, the wheels will land on those blocks, and that will be about an inch drop, and then I'll do another inch drop. There you go. You see, that's the first one, and there's the second one. Okay, you might want to fast forward a little bit now until the camera changes its shot. Unfortunately, I wasn't aware that I hadn't actually caught the shot here. So I'm going to stop doing the audio and then we'll move. Okay, it is now down and on garage level, which makes me happy because if it's going to drop, it's not going to drop very far. Now, obviously, at this point, it isn't facing the right direction, but that will be rectified in a little while. I'm now trying to get the furniture dollies in the right position, but I do change my mind about this, as you will see in a moment. See, changed my mind. I figured it was more sensible to move it roughly in line with the back of the car where it's going to go. See, my brain does work sometimes. So I'm having to be cameraman, worker, editor, and deviant. Damn, look at those shorts. Aren't they sexy? God, those sexy legs. Control yourselves now. Once again, trying to protect the axle as best I can by putting a towel on top of jack stands. Oh, I said jack stands, not axle stands. Jaxle. They are jaxle stands. At this point, I'm still not sure whether I'm going to be able to slide it in underneath. That will be in a few moments, you will see, but probably in about half an hour for me. Just want to make sure I get things set up. I'm still debating at this point whether or not to move that, or as you're looking at it, the left hand axle stand nearer to the middle. I got a feeling it'll be okay. It's just that I like things to be symmetrical, so I would have liked those to be in the center of the furniture dolly. Another one of my little quirky works. But we'll find out in a minute when I try and slide the axle in underneath the car. One of my concerns is that the furniture dollies might catch on the carpet that is underneath my car, because I've either got to push from one side or pull from one side. What do you think, guys? A push me or a pull you? Well, I've got to do a push me first of all. I have no choice, because I'm not lying underneath the car while I pull it. It'll probably be almost impossible to pull it, I would imagine. So where it currently is, I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to try pushing. Sorry about that noise. An annoying scam on WhatsApp wanting me to invest. Yeah. That's like politicians asking me for money. It's never going to happen. You got more money than I have. You know, these politicians would plead poverty. Pisses me off. Sorry, stop. Getting onto politics again, and you know where I stand on that. This is much more interesting. So I'm trying to be good here and not walk in front of the camera all the time. Lots of things to think about when you're doing videos. And that's another thing. I hope you guys appreciate that when I'm doing a job like this, there's a couple of things to bear in mind. One, I can only video it once because I'm not doing the whole damn thing again. And number two, when you've got to do all of this, you've got to figure out what the best way to do everything is. And it takes twice as long to do any job because you're videoing it. You know, the camera didn't magically move to a position where you can see the shot now. It's changed from the previous shot. So, you know, give us a bit of leeway, will you? And I don't mean just me. I mean any YouTuber that is, you know, doing it. Because the job takes twice as long, which is probably why it's taking me a lot longer to do this car than I anticipated. I've had it back from the body shop now for approximately a year. I didn't anticipate it not being together by now. But, you know, I'm doing a video. So, yeah, every job takes longer than it should. And also you have to consider that I do have a life as well, you know, and my wife does, and I have to fix her car, and I fix other people's cars. And there's always the honeydews. So, you know, things take a lot longer than they should. I don't have anybody working for me. I'm doing it all myself. Okay, we're getting close to the point now where I'm going to try pushing it in. Okay, here we go. Let's get it up and into the car. Oh boy, sorry about the barking, that's my ferocious dogs. A pair of Shih Tzus. Okay, we are all lined up and ready to go. Fingers crossed. Let's go for it. Now you'll note that I have the nose of the axle pointing downwards, and that's so it doesn't foul anything. I'll correct that when it's in position. Fortunately, it went up and over the carpet okay. I guess because of the weight, it said, yeah, I'm going to just crush you. I needed to go to the other side just to align it a little better. This went a lot smoother than I would anticipate it was going to, or anticipated it was going to. It just, I don't know, maybe with planning and thinking and lying in bed at night going, how am I going to do this? Maybe all of that really helped. In my mind, I went through a number of different scenarios on how to do this, what to do if this went wrong, what to do if that went wrong, how to do this, how to do that. But because of all that, I got it right. There you are. You can see me twisting the axle now in order to get it in the correct orientation, or at least close to it. The next thing to do, of course, is to get underneath the car and start bolting things on. I must admit, I'm a little apprehensive because I'm going to be lying underneath that axle and fiddling with it. And the only thing holding it are those jack stands. Well, I guess I just have to be careful. Maybe I'll put a trolley jack under there with me. There she is, pretty much in position. Yeah, it's approximate. Now I'm going to try and do a bit of a walk around underneath and show you. It wasn't easy to do it. I just hope you would appreciate it. I do. And don't forget, folks, if I can do this, you can. Doesn't take much. Just a little bit of thought, a little bit of planning. Just don't rush it. Don't expect it to be done in 5 minutes. It never will. It's like these videos. I keep wanting, oh, let's push it out, let's push it out, let's do it. Won't take long. It does. It takes time. That's approximately where it's going to go. Approximately. And once I get this in, then I can get it up on the on the ramp and start getting the rest of the brake lines in, etc. And I also noticed, or reminded myself, that the U-bolts for the prop shaft there I have not painted, so I'm going to have to paint them. And here we are, Jaguar 3.8 Mark II. Yes, you can see me.